I'm gonna do a recap. Let's do a recap. I have notes for the recap. I'm prepared today. All right. So, what happened last week? All right, last week, Lin Pingqi was in a restaurant, and he had his head down. He has his head down. He's pretending to be asleep or something, but he's listening to everything, right? And remember, in town, they're going to have a hand washing ceremony because of the coronavirus. You gotta really wash your hands really carefully now, because a hand washing ceremony is when a martial artist exits the martial world, right? So this really powerful, really strong martial artist is going to leave the martial world, and so he's going to do this ceremony. And there are a lot of people in town. A lot of people, and probably a lot of really good fighters, are in town to attend this ceremony. And Pingchi is in a restaurant, and then I think a lot of people left. And then he's left alone with another group of people, and these are students from the Huashan Sword School, right? And they're talking a lot about this one guy who is the eldest brother of the school, all right? And they're talking a lot about that guy because he's going to be a major character soon. So they're talking a lot about that guy, and he has, so far we know two things about the new guy, the eldest brother. One thing is that he's a heavy drinker. He's a great drinker, all right? Also known as alcoholic, also known as a good person to be around. No. And number two, he's a really strong fighter, right? So that's what we know about him. And then this guy, Lao de Noir, he's the second brother, right? So they all have ranks. So right underneath the eldest brother is the second brother, de Noir. And he was telling us a story about how he went to the Qincheng Sword School, right? Remember, the Qincheng Sword School is the school that attacked Lin Pingzhi's family. He went to the school and he noticed that they were practicing these new martial arts moves. And he talked to his master about it, and they realized that the martial arts that they were practicing was the martial arts of the Lin family. Okay, so somehow they found out, they discovered their martial arts and they're training with it. And Lin Pingqi hears this, and he's very surprised. So yeah, that's the recap. That's what happened last time. Dun, dun, dun. Hannah says she wants longer hair. Why do you want longer hair? Like, how long should my hair be? Like down here? That's way too long. I think I need shorter hair, no? Cypher says you need a face washing ceremony. I'm sorry, my face is greasy. It's actually moisturizer. Because I use moisturizer. Yeah, my friend introduced me to moisturizer a couple years back. I don't know, it feels good. All right, you ready? Let's do this. Chapter 3, Rescue, Part 1. Lao de Noir continued with his story. So I asked the master, is this evil resisting sword art something very powerful? Why would the Qincheng Sword School practice it so intensely? Master did not answer right away. He closed his eyes for a long while, and then said, De Noir, before you became my disciple, you had already spent much time in the martial world. In that time, what did you hear of the chief master of the Fortune Prestige Escort House, Lin Junan? God damn it. Live screen. Oh, Patrick, thanks a lot. Patrick reminded me. I answered, our friends in the martial world said that Lin Junan was not stingy when socializing with others. He treated his friends well. Everybody liked him and left the goods he escorted alone out of respect. But regard to his real kung fu skills, I am not sure. Master said, "Right. For the last generation, the Fortune Prestige Escort House has been successful, primarily because people in the martial world treated Lin Jianan like a friend. Did you ever hear that Master Yu's teacher, Evergreen, was defeated by Lin Yuantu's evil resisting sword art during his youth?" So remember, Master Yu is the master of the Qincheng Sword School, the school that attacked the Lin family. So Evergreen is his teacher, his own master. "I was lost. Lin Yuantu, was he Lin Jianan's father?" I asked. "No," Master answered. "Lin Yuantu was Lin Jianan's grandfather. He was the original founder of the Fortune Prestige Escort House. In those days when Lin Yuantu founded the escort house with the 72 moves of the evil resisting sword art, none of the heterodox members of the martial world was a match for him. And because his great fame at that time, even orthodox members of the martial world went to challenge him. Evergreen was one of them, and thus lost to several moves of the evil resisting sword art." So remember, the heterodox members, so the martial world is split into two, right? Kind of two sides, the heterodox side and the orthodox side. So you can see, you can think of them as the dark and the light side, or the lawful and the chaotic side. So the heterodox are the chaotic side, and they're kind of living on the edges of society. They don't really want to follow the rules or feel a need to follow the rules. All right, and the orthodox members are the people who are who are lawful. They're respectable people. So they think of themselves as the good guys, and they think of the heterodox members as the bad guys, the evil guys. I asked, "So the evil resisting sword art is really very powerful?" Master said, "The news that Evergreen lost the fight was kept secret by both sides, so nobody in the martial world knew about it. However, Evergreen was a very good friend of our Grand Master, and had once mentioned it to him. He considered this one of the greatest humiliations in his life, but knowing that he would never be able to defeat Lin Yuantu, he was never able to settle the score with him. Grandmaster had studied the evil resisting sword art together with him in order to find any flaws in his sword art. The 72 moves looked plain, but there were many profound mysteries locked within that no one could fathom, which allowed the moves to suddenly become very swift. The two of them studied it for several months and still could not devise a way to counter it. At that time, I was a mere teenager who had just become an apprentice. I served their tea at those sessions and was able to watch the moves every day. So when you demonstrated the moves, I knew they were from the evil resisting sword art. Ah, time flows like a stream. That was a long time ago. Ever since Lin Pingzhi had been beaten up by the Qincheng apprentices without being able to defend himself, he had completely lost confidence in his family's kung fu. All he wanted was to learn from a good teacher to seek revenge later. Now, hearing Lao de Noix speaking of the great prestige and fame of his great-grandfather, Lin Yuantu, he was greatly encouraged. Their family's evil resisting sword art was really nothing to scoff at. Years ago, even the masters of the Qincheng and Huashan sword schools could not defeat it. But if this was so, why couldn't his father defeat those Qincheng apprentices? Perhaps his father did not learn the secret and magic parts of the sword art. So, okay, that's one of the mysteries, right? That this martial arts is so powerful, but for some reason, the Lin family right now, even though they know the martial arts, they're not that strong, and we don't know why yet. Master said, oh wait. Then he heard Lao de Noix said, "I then asked Master, did Evergreen ever get his revenge?" Master said, He only lost a challenge fight. That doesn't require revenge. Besides, Lin Yuantu had been famous for years and was considered an admirable senior master. Evergreen was just a little Taoist priest who barely finished training. It wasn't a big deal for a young lad to lose to a senior master. After Grand Master comforted him, they never mentioned the incident again. Evergreen died at the age of 36. Maybe he could never put the incident behind him, and finally died of depression. Now, decades later, why would Yu Kanghai suddenly make all of his apprentices practice the evil resisting sword art? Denois, what is your opinion on this? I said, it seemed that everyone in the Pinewind Temple was quite serious about practicing. Could Master Yu be planning to mount a large-scale attack against the Fortune Prestige Escort House to seek revenge for past generation? Master nodded and said, I think so too. Evergreen was a narrow-minded person who thought highly of himself. He must have taken this defeat to heart. He probably left some kind of order to Yu Kanghai before he passed away. Lin Yuantu died before Evergreen, so if Yu Kanghai were to avenge his teacher, he could only go after Lin Xiong, Lin Yuantu's son, but for some reason he waited till now to start the attack. Yu Kanghai is shrewd and deep and always plots before attacking. There's going to be a big fight between the Qincheng Sword School and the Fortune Prestige Escort House. I asked the master, so in your opinion, who has a better chance of winning the fight? Master smiled and said, Yu Kanghai's kung fu skills have surpassed his master Evergreen's. Lin Zhinan's kung fu skills, although outsiders have no idea, are probably inferior to his grandfather's. One had advanced and one had slipped back. In addition, the Qincheng Sword School hides in the dark, while the Fortune Prestige Escort House is exposed in the light. Before the real fight even begins, the Fortune Prestige Escort House already has a 70% chance of losing. If Lin Zhinan were to get the information early and invite the Golden Blade Wang Yuanba in Luoyang to help out, then he might be able to put on a decent fight. Denois, what do you want? Do you want to go watch the fun? I, of course, agreed joyfully. Then the master taught me a couple of sword moves that the Qincheng Sword School was quite fond of, as a means of protection. What? Lu Dayu jumped up. Okay, so Lu Dayo is the sixth apprentice, so the sixth brother. And he's kind of a goofy guy, so let's say we give him a goofy voice. What? What? Lu Dayu jumped up. How come the master knows moves of Qincheng's sword art? Ah, I see. Years ago, when Evergreen practiced with Grandmaster, he had to use Qincheng's sword art to counter the evil resisting sword art, so Master saw them by the side. Sixth apprentice brother, Lao Denois said, as apprentices, let's not speculate on the origin of Master's kung fu skills. Master told me not to let any other apprentices know about this, so the information wouldn't leak out. But little apprentice sister was quite clever and somehow heard about it. She nagged the master into letting her go with me. We disguised ourselves as grandpa and granddaughter, selling wine outside Fuzhou. And then every day we would sneak into the Fortune Prestige Escort House to see what was going on. Okay, so now he's telling us a story of, way in the beginning, right? That grandpa and granddaughter pair. It's actually this guy, Lao Denois, the second apprentice, and the little sister. Now he's telling us what happened. Yu Hin Tam says, hey Linfamy, can you read the Chinese version? No, I can't read Chinese. I can read Vietnamese. I actually read the Vietnamese version when I was younger. Yeah. But that was a long time ago, so I can't. I don't remember everything, but I do remember the broad strokes. But yeah. Yeah, Vietnamese actually translates really well. Well, Chinese actually translates really well into Vietnamese. Probably because the Chinese occupied us like years ago. Where? Nikki says different kind of escorts though. Yeah, these are not. These are like bodyguards, not the fun kind of escorts. We disguised ourselves as grandpa and granddaughter selling wine outside Fuzhou. And then every day we would sneak into the Fortune Prestige escort house to see what was going on. We didn't see much other than Lin Jinan teaching his son the sword arts. When little apprentice sister saw the sword art, she shook her head and said to me, is this really the renowned evil resisting sword arts? It's more like the evil resisting not sword arts. When the evil comes, this young Master Lin better hide far away. Ooh, burn. Lin Pingzhi's face turned red at the laughter of the Huashan Sword School apprentices. He was so shamed that he wished there was a hole he could crawl into. So the two of them had been watching us in our escort house, and we knew nothing about it. We are really impotent. He couldn't help feeling very depressed. Not many days after we arrived in Fuzhou, apprentices of the Qincheng Sword School drifted in one after another. Lao de Noir continued with the story. The first two that arrived were Fang Rengji and Yu Renghao. They started sneaking into the escort house every day to explore the place. Little apprentice sister and I wanted to avoid bumping into them, so we stopped going there. It was quite a coincidence when one day that young Master Lin came to patronize our great wine shop. Little apprentice sister just had to bring out some wine for them. At first we thought he had found us out and intentionally came to let us know it. But when I spoke to him, I learned that he was still quite clueless. That playboy didn't know a thing and was no different from a stupid person. Then guess what happened? The two most useless apprentices of the Qincheng Sword School, Yu Rengyang and Jia Renda, happened to come to our great wine shop as well. Second apprentice brother, the great wine shop little apprentice sister and you opened must have had a booming business with all kinds of revenue pouring in. You probably had made a fortune in Fujian, didn't you? Lu Dayu applauded. Sure, second apprentice brother had become quite a wealthy man now, and thanks to his luck, I was able to pick up a few crumbs as well. The girl grinned. Everyone burst into laughter. Ha ha ha. That's their laughter. Dun, dun, dun. Nikki says they escort people to death. That's right. Titus says the boring kind of escorts. Yeah, they ran the boring kind of escorts. I have a soundboard, guys. You want to hear something? That's right. Tell me what you want on the soundboard. I'm going to add other stuff. What would be fun to be put on the soundboard? Dun, 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 dun. Although the young Master Lin was terrible with his kung fu skills and not even good enough to be little apprentice sister's student, he did have some integrity, Lao Dianoa said. Yu Rengyang, the youngest and most useless son of Yu Kanghai, was so blind that he started teasing and making fun of little apprentice sister. Then the young Master Lin stepped in and tried to protect us. Lin Pingzhi felt both ashamed and irritated. So the Qincheng Sword School had deliberately planned the attacks on our escort house, seeking revenge for their defeat in the previous generation, and the group that came to Fuzhou consisted of far more than just 4. Whether I killed Yu Rengyang or not, it didn't matter at all. He was so disturbed that he didn't really listen to Lao Dianoa describing how he killed Yu Rengyang, but he could hear laugh after laugh. They must have been laughing at how clumsy he had been when he tried to defend himself. So yeah, so it looks like that the whole attack, all those attacks were planned in the first place, right? It didn't really matter that that Lin Pingzhi killed Yu Rengyang. Yu Hintam hates his life. Add a mute button. So mean. Andy says monkey sounds for whenever a monkey appears. Oh yeah, you're right. So Lu Da Yu is usually is often called a monkey because he acts like a monkey, and he also has a monkey like running around with him. So yeah, that's a good idea. Nikki says, make it say son of a turtle. I don't know if I can find that. I think I need to say it. I'm gonna record myself saying son of a turtle. Oh yeah, so you know what Katie told me? So son of a turtle is an actual it means son of a bitch in Chinese. But it translates into turtle eggs for some reason. So they're going around saying turtle eggs, I guess. But yeah, son of a turtle. I like that. Dun, 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 dun. Where am I? Then he heard Lao De Noa say, that night, little apprentice sister and I went back to the Fortune Prestige Escort House to check it out, and saw that Ho Rengying, Hong Renxiong, and other apprentices led by Master Yu had already arrived. We were afraid to be seen by the people of Qincheng Sword School, so we just stood far away to observe. We saw them killing the escorts of the escort house, one by one, including the ones sent out to obtain help. Dead bodies were sent back to the escort house one after another. They were merciless. At that moment, I thought to myself, the whole thing was just because Evergreen, someone from the last generation of Qincheng, lost to Lin Yuan-tu in a challenge sword fight. If Master Yu wanted to settle the score, all he needed to do was challenge and defeat Lin Zhinan and his son in a sword fight. Why did he behave so maliciously? He must have wanted to avenge Yu Rengyang. But why didn't they do anything to the Lin couple and Lin Pingchi, and only forced them to leave the escort house? Right after the remaining escorts and the Lin family fled the escort house, Master Yu went in. Then he sat on the chief chair with a smug air. Starting then, the Fortune Prestige House belonged to the Qincheng Sword School. Qincheng Sword School wanted to get into the escorting business. Master Yu wanted to be the chief master escort, Yu Daiyu exclaimed. Everyone laughed. Ha 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 ha. The Qincheng people had watched the Lin family disguise themselves. Lao Denoa went on. Fang Rengji, Yu Renghao, and Jia Renda got the order to go after them and bring them back. Little apprentice sister insisted on following them to watch the events, so we followed the bunch of them. When the Lin family stopped by a small restaurant in the mountains south of Fuzhou, Fang Rengji and Yu Renghao and Jia Renda showed themselves and captured the three. Little apprentice sister said, it was all because of me that the young master Lin killed Yu Rengyang. We cannot just walk away like this. I tried my best to change her mind and said that if we came out and attacked the Qincheng Sword School, we would damage the relationship between the Qincheng Sword School and the Huashan Sword School. And since Master Yu was in Fuzhou, we also might get into big trouble. Second apprentice brother is old, so of course he wanted to be careful and doesn't care much about action. Little apprentice sister must have been very disappointed, Lu Dayu speculated. Little apprentice sister was so enthusiastic that it was hard to disappoint her even if I wanted to, Lao Dianu smiled. So little apprentice sister first went into the kitchen and cracked Jia Renda's head. When he started screaming and lured Fang and Yu away, she circled to the front to rescue young Master Lin and let him escape. Terrific, terrific, Lu Dayu applauded. I see. Little apprentice sister wasn't just saving that fellow Lin, she had something else in mind. Great, great. What other things did I have in mind? You're talking nonsense again, the girl said. Since I was beaten by Master because of the Qincheng Sword School, little apprentice sister was unhappy. So she beats up people of the Qincheng Sword School to vent my anger. Thank you very much. Lu Dayu stood up and saluted the girl. Monkey 6, apprentice brother, you are welcome. The girl smiled and saluted back. Little apprentice sister beat up the Chincheng apprentice to vent someone's anger. But I am not sure if that someone was you. It wasn't just you, Monkey 6, who got beaten by the master, the apprentice with the abacus said with a broad grin. This time, sixth apprentice brother is right, Lao Dian smiled. Little apprentice sister really beat up Jia for sixth apprentice brother's sake. Later, if the master asks about this, she will still say so. This is an honor I don't want. Don't drag me into it, and get me another 10 strokes of the stick, Lu Dayu exclaimed, waving his hands. So, they're making fun of the little sister because she likes the eldest brother, right? So didn't Fang Rengji and Yu Renghao chase you? The tall apprentice asked. Of course they did, the girl answered, but second apprentice brother had learned some moves of the Qinsheng sword art, and with the only one move called Swan Goose in the Sky, he sent their swords into the sky. Too bad second apprentice brother masked his face with a black cloth. I bet that even now Fang and Yu still don't realize that they lost to the Huasheng Sword School. It is better that way, Lao Dianhua said. Otherwise there would have been more trouble. In a straight test of skills, I may not be able to win over Fang and Yu, but because I used moves from the Qincheng sword art so unexpectedly and attacked the flaw in their technique, the two were startled, and because of that, we won again this time. The apprentices all agreed that if Big Apprentice Brother had known about this, he would have been very happy and excited indeed. It started raining more and more heavily. Raindrops bounced off rooftops and street surfaces like peas. A vendor carrying a pot of wonton and his cooking utensils balanced on the ends of a pole appeared from the rain and stopped under the eaves of the tea shop to take shelter. The old man started to knock on a bamboo block to attract customers. Hot steam came out of his pot. The Huashan apprentices had been hungry for quite a while, and when they saw the wonton vendor, all were quite pleased. Hey, make 9 servings of wonton for us, please. Extra eggs, Lu Dayu shouted. Yes, sir, the old man answered, then opened the pot lid and threw the wontons into the hot soup. Moments later, 5 bowls of wonton were ready for the apprentices. Lu Dayu was well behaved. He gave the first bowl to second apprentice brother, Lao Dianhua, the second bowl to the third apprentice brother, Liang Fa, and then to the fourth apprentice brother, Shi Daizhi, and to the fifth apprentice brother, Gao Genming. He should have taken the next bowl, but he put it in front of the little apprentice sister instead. Little apprentice sister, after you, he said. So they're just saying they're being very cordial and respectable, and respectful, I guess. Yeah, so he's giving the bowls to the eldest first and then going down the line, right? The girl had been teasing him all the time, calling him Monkey 6 and all, but when he gave the wonton to her, she stood up and replied respectfully, Thanks, apprentice brother. Lin Pingzhi observed everything from this vantage point by the side and thought that they had very strict school rules. It was okay to joke around, but all had to abide by the rule of seniority. Lao Dianhua and the others began to eat, but the girl waited till Lu Dayu and all the other apprentice brothers had their wonton, and then started to eat together. The wonton order is very important. Bigfoot says, glad to see this again. Hi, Bigfoot. How's it going? Artsy says he didn't get a notification. Yeah, I don't know. Take it up with YouTube. Dun, dun, dun. Titus calls YouTube sons of turtle eggs. I really need that thing on the soundboard now. Titus says, stop calling it a escort house. Well, that's what it is. What do you want me to call it? Bodyguard house? The Fortune Prestige Bodyguard house. I don't know, I like escort house better. Bigfoot, not too shabby. How about you? Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good. It's getting really hot these days. I only have one AC, like this portable AC inside my room. So if I want to get cool, I have to go into my bedroom and close the door. Yeah. So the rest of the house is hot. Fortunately, I have insulation, so it's fine. It doesn't get that hot. But yeah, I don't want to go out now. But you shouldn't go out anyways. Alright, I'm gonna take a break, you guys. About a 3-minute break. Cypher says, what do you think Bigfoot's feet smell like? Probably smells like perfume. Smells really good. I'm looking for a song to play while we break. Titus, 93 degrees. Oh, sucks. I don't know what it is here. It's probably around the same. Where do you live? I live in California. Yuhin Tom says, Lymphemy, wear your bathwater perfume? What? What does that mean? Alright guys, we're gonna break and you're gonna listen to some Chinese rap. Chinese hip hop. Alright, I'm back. How's it going, chat? Where's everyone from? And what is a Tyvek suit? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, Yuhin Tom hates Chinese music. That's why I play it, to annoy him. You're in Hong Kong? Cool. Bigfoot. Hazmat suit. Why do you wear a hazmat suit? Is it for your job? Lloyd is from Virginia. Nikki's from Ohio. Canada. Cypher is in the attic. Isn't it hot in the attic at the moment? A Tyvek suit is basically a jumpsuit. Okay. What is it used for? Is it used for... Usually when you say Tyvek, it's a white suit to put over your cloth for dust protection. Bigfoot says, sometimes I do trauma cleaning. Like, what do you mean? Like murders? Like, do you clean up crime scenes? Titus, Connecticut. Hey. Oh, look at that. Gabriel likes that song. He said that song was way better than that meditation stuff you usually play. Ohio. What's up, Ohio? Yeah, but we all know California is the best, right? I think we all know that. All right, where was I? We're here. Nope. Second apprentice brother, you were just talking about how Master Yu took over the Fortune Prestige escort house. What happened after that? Liang Fa asked. After little apprentice sister rescued the young Master Lin, Lao Dianu replied, she wanted to follow them secretly and wait for a chance to rescue the Lin couple. I pleaded with her. Yu Rangyang offended you the other day, and the young Master Lin helped you. You felt gratitude and rescued him. That's enough payback already. The score between the Qincheng Sword School and the Fortune Prestige Escort House came from last generation. Why should we interfere? Little apprentice sister finally agreed. Then the two of us went back to Fuzhou and saw over the 10 Qincheng apprentices. Guarding the Fortune Prestige Escort House. That was somewhat strange. Everyone in the escort house had fled in a rush. Even the Lin couple was gone. What was the Qincheng Sword School afraid of? Little apprentice sister and I could not figure it out and became quite curious, so we decided to investigate. We figured that since Qincheng apprentices was guarding the place with such tight security, it would be very hard to get in at night, so we sneaked into the garden at dusk while we were changing shifts for dinner. After we got into the escort house, we saw many Qincheng apprentices busily rummaging through chests and cupboards. Some were taking down walls, others were digging up the ground. It seemed that they had turned the entire escort house upside down. There was gold and treasure the escorts did not have time to take with them, but those were just thrown to one side and ignored. They must have been looking for something very important. But what was it? The evil resisting sword art manuscript, four Huashan apprentices said almost in unison. Correct, Lao De Noir said. Little apprentice sister and I came to that same conclusion. It was obvious that they started searching right after they took over the Fortune Prestige escort house. Seeing them all searching and sweating so hard, we knew that they hadn't gotten any results. So they were looking for the book that includes all the moves of that sword art, right? So did they find it eventually? Lu Dayu asked. Little apprentice sister and I both wanted to see the result, Lao Dianu said, but these Qincheng people searched so thoroughly that they didn't even forget to search the outhouses. Little apprentice sister and I really had nowhere to hide and had to sneak away. Second apprentice brother, do you think Master Yu was making a fuss over a trifling matter by going there and leading the operation himself? Fifth apprentice Gao Genming asked. Lao De Noir answered, Master Yu's teacher had lost to Lin Yuantu's evil-resisting sword art. Whether Lin Jinan was an unworthy descendant or an even stronger opponent, outsiders would not have known. It might not have been proper for Master Yu to only send a couple of apprentices to settle the score. He went to Fuzhou himself and also urged all his... God damn it, live screen. I'm sorry, guys. I suck. I should look at the chat more often. All right, okay. We're gonna make this a game. Whenever I forget to put on the text, I have to drink a shot. Ouch. Shit. So that was one time. I'm gonna drink a shot. Do, do, do. This might not be a good idea. All right, cheers. I spilled it. Woo! Hold on, guys. Let me get a towel. I spilled it. This is Jack Daniels, some Tennessee whiskey. See it? Oh no, it got everywhere. Yep, this Tennessee whiskey. You guys, you know what you are? You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. Okay. Oh shit. It's on my screen. Michael says music video wasn't bad. Yeah. I like that song. Alright, I think I wiped up everything. How did it get everywhere? What a waste. Alright. Are we ready? Are we ready? The text is up on the screen. Okay. So that's good. Where am I? Princess brother. Lao de Noise answered, Master Yu's teacher had lost to Lin Yuan Tu's evil resisting sword art. Whether Lin Jianan was an unworthy descendant or an even stronger opponent, outsiders would not have known. It might not have been proper for Master Yu to only send a couple of apprentices to settle the score. He went to Fuzhou himself and also urged all his apprentices to practice the sword art, then started the attack with advanced preparation. I wouldn't really call this making a fuss, but from what I saw, I think that for him, revenge was only of second importance, while finding that sword art manuscript was the main priority. Second apprentice brother, you saw them practicing the evil resisting sword art in Pinewind Temple. If they had already known how to use this sword art, why bother looking for the sword art manuscript? Perhaps they were looking for something else. Fourth apprentice Xu Daizhi suggested. I don't think so. Lao de Noir shook his head. What else besides secret martial arts techniques could have interested him? A master of martial arts so much that he would spend such great effort on it. That was a bad reading. What else besides secret martial art techniques could have interested him, a master of martial arts, so much that he would spend such great effort on it? Later at the Yushan town in Jiangxi province, little apprentice sister and I met them again and heard Master Yu asking messenger apprentices from other provinces about whether they had found the thing. He looked worried, so it seemed that nobody had actually found it yet. Xu Daizhi still could not understand. He scratched his head and asked, They already know how to use this set of sword arts? Why would they bother looking for the sword art manuscript? How strange. Think about it, fourth apprentice brother, Lao de Noir explained. Years ago, Lin Yuantu could defeat Evergreen. The sword art must have been truly outstanding. But not only was the evil resisting sword art that Evergreen remembered nothing out of the ordinary, Master Yu also saw by his own eyes that the kung fu skills of the Lin family were not even worth mentioning. Something was just not making sense. What do you mean? Xu Daizhi asked. Titus says, I already got drunk today, so I'm just about winding down. Yeah. Michael says, we need to have a group reading next time. What is a group reading? Like, you guys read too? Like, do you guys want to do the voices? I don't know what that means. There must be some secrets to the evil-resisting sword art of the Lin family, Lao Duanois exclaimed. Although the moves appear average, the power of the sword art could be very strong, and Lin Jienan did not get to learn the secrets. Xu Daizhi thought for a while and nodded. That's right, but secret methods for sword arts are normally passed down by one's master, orally. Lin Yuantu has been dead for decades, and even if they could find his coffin and dig out his body, it wouldn't help them at all. The secret code for our own sword art is taught orally by master, in spoken words, with no written parts. But not every school or clan necessarily has to be like that, Lao Duanois said. Second apprentice brother, I still don't understand, Xu Daizhi said. It was logical that before their attack they would want the manuscript for the evil-resisting sword art. Know the enemy and know yourself. In this way, you can win every battle. They wanted to defeat the evil-resisting sword art, so it was better if they knew the secret within the sword art. But the Qincheng Sword School has already captured the Lin couple, and the headquarters and escort house branches have all been wiped out. What score is there left to settle? Even if there really was a powerful secret in the sword art, why should they bother looking for it? What? People in the chat, how do you... I don't get it. How would you do the voices? I don't even know how that would work. Maybe we'll get on a Zoom call. Oh, you want to come to my home? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Yet, but maybe after a couple of shots. You never know. Dun, 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 dun. Fourth brother, what is your evaluation of Qincheng's kung fu compared to the kung fu of our Five Mountains sword alliance? Lao Duanois asked. I don't know, Xu Daizhi answered. After a short while, he said, perhaps not as good. That's right, probably not as good as ours, Lao Duanois said. Think about it. Master Yu is a conceited, arrogant man. Doesn't he want his fame to be greater than everyone else in the martial world? If the Lin family really had some kind of secret technique, something which could change the average sword moves of the evil-resisting sword art into something very powerful, then if they used this secret technique with their Qincheng sword art, what would happen? Xu Daizhi thought for a long while and suddenly struck the table heavily as he stood up and shouted, I see! Yu Kanghai wants his Qincheng sword art to be number one in the martial world. Yeah, I agree with Nikki. It'll be too much hassle. Yeah, and I don't know what you guys will say on the stream. I don't... this is the internet. I'm very suspicious. Nikki says 30 random folks show up at Linfamy's house with bottles of Jack. That could work. I mean, you gotta bring something, right? But we're not drinking 30 bottles of Jack. Yeah, keep throwing suggestions at me. These are great suggestions, you guys. You guys are really smart. You guys are amazing. Yu Hin Tam will show up with lychee juice. Or boba. Boba could work. I had boba last week. Thank God. But yeah, I miss boba so much. Right at that moment, sounds of footsteps floated in from the street outside. People in the tea shop turned and saw a group of people rush toward the tea shop in quick steps. From the way they ran, one could tell these were all martial people. They were all dressed in oilcloth raincoats, and as they got closer, everyone saw that it was a group of Buddhist nuns. The leading old nun was a tall one, and stopping right in front of the tea shop, she shouted, Ling Hu Cheng, come out! Lao Duanois and other apprentices recognized the old nun. She was Sister Ding Yi, the master of the White Cloud Nunnery atop Mount Hangshang. All right, so Hangshang is another school in the Five Mountains Sword Alliance, and they're a school full of Buddhist nuns. Okay. So this group of nuns just charge into the restaurant, calling for Ling Hu Chong, who is the eldest brother of that Huashan sword school. She was also the junior apprentice sister of Sister Ding Qian, the headmaster of the Hangshang Sword School. Not only was she a famous master within the Hangshang Sword School, she was also a renowned master of great fame in the martial world. And all martial people considered her a tough fighter. All the Huashan apprentices stood up and saluted her respectfully. "We here pay our respects to Uncle Master," Lao Denua said loudly. So Uncle Master, yeah, I don't know about this translation. That just means, I think that means the master or of the school, like the headmaster of the school. There's a reference here. Let's read it. Uncle Master is the title used when a junior calls a senior master, who is the apprentice brother or sister of the junior's master. It is used regardless of the gender of the senior master. Sure. A junior calls, someone who's lower in rank calls a senior master Uncle Master. So if you're lower rank, I guess you call someone of higher rank, of master level, Uncle Master. "We here pay our respects to Uncle Master," Lao Denua said loudly. Sister Ding Yi glanced over everyone and yelled with a husky voice, "Where is Ling Hu Chong hiding? Get his ass out here." Her voice was even huskier than that of a man. "Uncle Master, senior apprentice brother Ling Hu is not here. We have been waiting for him, and he hasn't arrived yet," Lao Denua replied. "So, this big apprentice brother they were talking about is called Ling Hu Chong. He really seems to be a troublemaker. What did he do to make this old nun so mad?" Lin Pingzhi thought to himself. Sister Ding Yi surveyed the tea shop and stopped at the sight of the girl's face. "Are you Ling Shang? Why are you disguised like that? To scare people?" she asked. "There are some bad men who want to harass me, so I disguised myself to hide for a while," the girl answered with a smile. Ding Yi gave a snort. "The rules of your Huashan sword school are getting looser and looser. Your father is too lax with his apprentices, which encourages them to cause trouble wherever they go. When I finish my business here, I'm going to have to go to Mount Huashan myself and discuss this with him." "Uncle Master, please don't do that," Ling Shang begged worriedly. "Big apprentice brother just got punished with 30 strokes from father recently. He was wounded so badly that he could barely walk. If you talk to my father, he might get another 60 strokes of stick. That will kill him." "The earlier that animal gets killed, the better. Ling Shang, how can you lie to my face? Ling Hu Chong could barely walk. If he could barely walk, how did he manage to kidnap my little apprentice?" Sister Ding Yi bellowed. Hearing those words, the faces of the Huashan apprentices turned pale with horror. Fuzzy Static calls me Uncle Master. Hi, Fuzzy. Oh, Katie says Uncle Master is something that the generation below calls the generation above. Thank you. Yuhin Tom says all call me Uncle Master. And now the chat is calling me Uncle Master. No, let's not make a new religion where we honor infamy. Let's not do that. But you can follow Nikki and send me boba tea, yes. Ling Shan almost cried out. "Uncle Master," she said hurriedly, "that's impossible. No matter how bold Big Apprentice Brother is, He would never dare to offend fellow apprentice sisters of your respectful school. Somebody must be making up stories to sow discord with the uncle master. You still deny it? You still deny it? Yi Guang, what did the apprentice from the Taishan sword school tell you? Ding Yi barked. A middle-aged nun stepped forward. Apprentice brothers from the Taishan sword school said that priest Tan Chong saw apprentice brother Ling Hu and junior sister Yi Lin drinking together in a wine house in the town of Hangyang. The wine house was called something like Hui Yang House. Junior sister Yi Lin had obviously been seized by apprentice brother Ling Hu and dared not drink the wine. She looked very upset, and drinking together with them was that villain who stops at no evil, Tian Bo Guang. All right, so they're accusing their elder brother, the eldest brother, Ling Hu Chong, of kidnapping one of their apprentices, Yi Lin. Okay, and they were drinking together in a wine house. Now, nuns are not supposed to be drinking wine. Okay, so that's a bad thing right there. And apparently they're drinking. Those two are drinking with this one guy who they think is evil, Tian Bo Guang. Ding Yi had already known this, and even the second time around, she was just as angry. She struck the table heavily with her palm. 2 bowls of wonton jumped off the table and smashed onto the ground. The Huashan apprentices all looked very embarrassed. Lingshan was so worried that tears began to roll down her cheeks. They must be lying, or maybe Uncle Master Tiansong saw a different person, she said in a trembling voice. We all know who Priest Tiansong of Taishan Sword School is, Ding Yi exclaimed loudly. How could he be mistaken? How could he ever speak nonsense? This animal, Ling Hu Chong, he even gets along with an evil person like Tian Bo Guang. He has sunk very low. Even if your master doesn't handle this seriously and cover for his students, I won't let him go so easily. This 10,000 miles loner Tian Bo Guang, that's his title, has been a plague on society. I, an old nun, must rid the people of the scourge. When I heard the news and went there, Tian Bo Guang and Ling Hu Chong had spirited Yilin away. I looked everywhere, but I still couldn't find them. Her voice became hoarse. She stamped her feet on the ground and sighed. Oh, Yilin, the child, Yilin, the child. The Huashan apprentices' hearts were beating rapidly. That big apprentice brother dragged a nun of the Hangshang Sword School off to a wine house to drink and stained the nun's reputation was already a clear violation of school rules. To make matters worse, he made friends with someone like Tian Bo Guang. After a long pause, Lao De Noix finally was able to collect himself and spoke again. Uncle Master, maybe senior apprentice brother Ling Hu was at the same table of Tian Bo Guang only by chance. That doesn't really make them friends. Senior apprentice brother Ling Hu has been quite drunk these days and probably was a little hazy. What one does when drunk shouldn't really count. A drunk still has 30% of his faculties. As a mature adult, can't he even distinguish between the good and the evil? Ding Yi roared. Yes, Uncle Master, Lao De Noix said hastily, not daring to argue. I wonder where senior apprentice brother Ling Hu might be right now. We apprentices find him and reproach him. We'll have him come home and kowtow to apologize to you first, Uncle Master, and then report to my master so he can administer a heavy punishment. Am I here to discipline your apprentice brother? Ding Yi snarled. Her arm shot out suddenly and grabbed Lingshan by the wrist. Lingshan felt as if an iron hoop had bound her wrist. Ah! She cried out and then muttered in a trembling voice, Uncle Master. Your Huashan Sword School kidnapped my Yi Lin. I am taking a female apprentice of your Huashan Sword School in exchange. When you return my Yi Lin to me, I will release your Lingshan. Ding Yi growled. She turned around and dragged Lingshan after her. Lingshan felt her upper body become sore and numb and had to stagger along with Ding Yi into the street. Because of that one shot, my throat is getting dry. We had this problem in the first stream. All right, 3 minutes, guy. 3 minutes. Be right back. It's a rap day today, so you're gonna listen to another rap song. All right, BRB. All right, I'm back. The chat is coming up with commandments for what? I need to read up. Oh no, is it the new religion, the Linfamy religion? Yeah, Bigfoot. I do drink. I'm trying to drink unsweetened tea. I've gotten it down to. I used to drink 100% sweetened tea, but that's not healthy. So I've gone down to 50%. I'm slowly going down. I want to go down to 0% sweet, and I like it. I like the tea to be a little sweet, but the boba to be really sweet. So I think that's a good combination. What kind of boba do you guys like? Yeah, I usually just get like a green tea with boba or a black tea with boba. Just simple. And no milk. Yeah, just a tea with boba. I realize I can make that at home. It's just a tea, but I'm lazy, so. Red beans is good. Red beans is good too. I like that. Fuzzy Static says this is odd music. Hey, this is rap. I think this song, that song that I just played, he got really hardcore. It won something. It won some reality TV show, like a rap reality TV show, kind of like The Voice, but with rap music. Yeah, I think he won. I think he's the guy that won. Gabriel says, I noticed long reading wears you out. Have you considered doing pre-recordings? Well, it wouldn't be a live stream, right? The only thing that wears me out is it's because drinking the shots, honestly. It dries your throat, it dries your mouth. But without that, it's fine, I think. I can read just fine. Nikki, you've only had boba 5 times. That is not cool. But you live in Ohio, right? Is there a lot of Ohio boba places in Ohio? I'm guessing not, because I live in the Bay Area and they're everywhere, and they're just new boba places just pop up all over the place. And yeah, so before the pandemic, like they would just pop up all over the place, and you can take a step without running into a boba shop. They may be more frequent than Starbucks around here. Papa, I'm not sweaty. This is moisturizer. Yeah. Fine. Maybe I won't put it on next time. Jesus, guys. Lloyd has never had boba tea. Well, you need to rectify that really quick, Lloyd. Where do you live? Are there places around? Maybe try one. Gabriel says no drinking and give us 2 chapters. Would that be too long? Because I've noticed one chapter takes an hour and a half. So 2 chapters would be 3 hours, guys. I don't know if that's too long. Luna. Okay, Luna. Bye. Have a good one. Thanks for coming. Nikki says that's why he looks so young, the moisturizer. That's right. I'm actually 60 years old. But I don't look it, do I? I look very young. Willa says, this is so late, but I got to say it. Bigfoot's feet smell like wood moss after a summer thunderstorm. How would you know that, Willa? How do you know that? This is very suspicious. Hannah says 2 chapters are too long. Yeah, I think I agree. I think an hour and a half is a good time frame. All right, let's get started. All right, so yeah, the nuns are trying to kidnap little sister Ling Shang. Lao Dunhua and Liang Fa both text. I remember this time. No shot for me, I think, right? I remembered. Lao Dunhua and Liang Fa both jumped forth instantly to block Sister Ding Yi's way. Uncle Master, Lao Dunhua bowed and said apologetically, my big apprentice brother offended you. Naturally, you would get angry. But that really has nothing to do with little apprentice sister. Uncle Master, please show mercy and let her go. Sure I will, Ding Yi yelled scornfully. She raised her right arm and swept it out in an arc. Oh, a fight is starting. A fight is starting. Lao Dunhua and Liang Fa felt a strong burst of energy shooting toward them, so strong that they could hardly breathe. Then they found themselves flying backwards. Lao Dunhua landed on his back and the door of the shop across the street from the tea shop. With a splintering crack, 2 of the door planks broke in half. Liang Fa flew straight toward a wonton stove. If he had landed on the wonton stove and knocked it over, boiling water would splash all over him and scald him badly. But the old wonton seller reached out with his left hand and caught Liang Fa by his back. Liang Fa landed safely. Sister Ding Yu turned back and gave a stare to the old wonton seller. So it's you, she said. That's right, it's me, the old man smiled. Sister, you've got quite a temper. That's none of your concern, Ding Yi snapped. Right at that moment, with oilcloth umbrellas over their heads and lanterns in their hands, 2 men rushed toward the tea shop. Are you the respectful sister of the Hangshang Sword School? They shouted from afar. You flatter me. I am Ding Yi of the Hangshang Sword School. Who are you? Ding Yi asked. When the 2 men came closer, 2 big red words written on the lanterns in their hands became more recognizable. It read, Liu House. The Liu House is the house of that guy who was going to leave the martial arts world. The guy that was going to or is going to do the hand washing ceremony. Katie says boba would be a good symbol. I do have a symbol, the boba symbol. Hold on, let me show you guys. Where's my boba symbol? There you go. Is that the symbol of the Linfamy house? House Linfamy? You guys like that? Nikki says, save the shots for the rest of the stream. Yeah, I don't want to read. It's bad drinking in between. Good thing I didn't forget. I didn't forget to change to the text. Oh, and I think so. Last week, I was showing remember that guy, the old man who was playing with the instruments. Yeah, I didn't have my screen on, so I was showing you what it looked like. So let me do that now. That is not what it's called. There you go. So remember that old guy who took his sword out of his instrument and cut off the tops of the teacups without spilling the tea? So he was using this instrument. He was playing it. Here's the bow to play it. You play it like a violin. It has 2 strings, and I think the sword handle is this. So the sword came out of here. So he just pulled it out. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Oh, Papa, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. And he says beans. I don't know what that means. Red beans with boba. That's really good. Yu Hintam, do I have a Mauser? Is that a gun? I don't have a gun at home. I might just shoot myself. So Patrick, yes, you should really get bubble tea. It's really good. So, some servants from the Liu house came. We junior apprentices were instructed by our masters to invite Uncle Master Ding Yi and all the fellow apprentice sisters to have dinner at our humble house, one said. We didn't get the news that you had already arrived at Hangshang, so we didn't greet you at the gate. Please pardon us. He bowed to pay his respects. That is very polite of you. Are you 2 apprentices of Master Liu? Ding Yi asked in a slightly softer tone. Yes, my name is Xiang Danyang, and this is my apprentice brother, Mi Wei Yi. How are you, Uncle Master? The 2 saluted again. Seeing the good manners of the pair, Ding Yi agreed. All right, we were just about to go visit Master Liu anyway. May I ask who you are? Xiang Danyang asked Liang Fa. I am Liang Fa, apprentice of the Huashan Sword School, Liang Fa answered. Ah, you are the senior 3rd brother of Liang of the Huashan Sword School, Xiang Danyang said happily. I have been looking forward to meeting you. Everyone, please come to our humble house. Our master told us to greet all of the heroes from different groups, but there are so many people coming, we are afraid that we have been poor hosts and offended friends. Please come this way. We were planning on waiting here until big apprentice brother showed up, and then go to congratulate Uncle Master Liu together. Lao De Noir went over and said, You must be 2nd apprentice brother Lao, Jiang Danyang said. My master always praises Huashan apprentice brothers studying under Uncle Master Yue, especially apprentice brother Ling Hu, a very outstanding young hero. Since apprentice brother Ling Hu is not here yet, why don't you come first? Lao De Noir pondered the situation in his head. Little apprentice sister is under the control of Uncle Master Ding Yi, and it seems that she won't let her go easily. We simply have no other choice but to go with her. At that thought, he answered, I hope this will not be an inconvenience. Your coming to Hangshan is an honor. Why be so modest? Please, please, Xiang Danyang greeted. Aren't you going to invite this one? Ding Yi pointed at the old wonton seller. Xiang Danyang looked at the old man for a moment before he recognized him. Ah, so it is Uncle Master He from Mount Yandang, he bowed. What a lack of manners on my part. Uncle Master He, please, will you please come to our humble house as well? He had guessed that this old wonton seller was the master from Mount Yandang, Hu Sanqu. Hu Sanqu made a living by selling wontons when he was young. Even after he became proficient in the martial arts, he still carried his wonton stove with him when he wandered about. I love that. The wonton stove was more or less like his trademark. Although he had tremendous skills, he did not seek fame or wealth, content to live off his small business. Everyone in the martial world respected him. There were thousands of people selling wonton on streets and in alleys, and the only one that sold wonton and also had excellent kung fu skills would have to be Hu Sanqu. I'll go, Hu Sanqu said with a smile, and started to clear off the wonton bowls on the table. We junior apprentices didn't recognize you, respectful master. I hope senior master does not mind, Lao De Noa said apologetically. Not at all, not at all. You came to me as my good customers. Why would I mind? 9 bowls of wonton, 10 coins apiece. That means you owe me 90 coins. Hu Sanqu extended his left palm out after the words. That is a good businessman right there. Lao De Noa was very embarrassed and wasn't sure if Hu Sanqu was just kidding. Hey, pay the bill after you eat. Hu Sanqu never said he was letting you eat for free, Ding Yi said. Yeah, small business, cash only, no credits or late payments, not even relatives or close friends, Hu Sanqu announced. Of course, Lao De Noa answered. He dared not to give any extra, so he counted 90 copper coins carefully and handed the money over respectfully with both of his hands. Hu Sanqu took the money and then turned to Ding Yi with his palm out. You broke 2 of my bowls and 2 china spoons. That comes to a total of 14 coins. You penny-pinching skinflint! You even cheat money from nuns? Yi Guang, pay him the money, Ding Yi chortled. Yi Guang counted 14 coins and handed over the money respectfully with both hands. Hu Sanqu took the money and threw it into a bamboo tube by the wonton stove and then lifted the stove and said, Let's go. We'll take care of all the bills later. Write 'em up under Master Liu, Jiang Danyang said to the tea shop waiter. Hi, you all. They are all Master Liu's guests, hi, you all. It is an honor to have them here, hi, you all. Forget about the bills, hi, you all. It's on the house. The hi, you all is just, I guess it's his way of speaking. The waiter said, beaming. Xiang Danyang distributed the umbrellas as they had bought. Xiang Danyang distributed the umbrellas they had brought with them and then led the way at the front. Ding Yi dragged the girl Lingshan of Huashan Sword School and walked side by side with Hu Sanqu. All the Huashan apprentices and Hengshan apprentices followed behind. Lin Pingju thought to himself, let me follow them from far behind. Let's see if I can sneak into Liu Jiangfeng's house by any chance. After the group turned around a corner, he stood up and walked to the corner of the street. The group headed north, so he followed in the heavy rain by walking under the eaves by the street. After walking 3 long streets, he saw a big mansion by the left side of the street. 4 big lanterns in front illuminated the gate. About 10 people stood in front, some holding torches and others holding umbrellas, busily greeting guests. After Ding Yi, Hu Sanqu, and others of the group walked into the house, more guests came from both ends of the street. Lin Pingju plucked up his courage and walked to the gate. 2 groups of guests happened to be going in the mansion, led by an apprentice of the Liu house. Lin Pingju followed them in quietly. The greeting apprentices thought he was one of the guests and greeted, Come in, please. Have some tea, please. Lin Pingju stepped into the crowded great hall. There were over 200 people sitting at different tables and talking to each other. Lin Pingju calmed a little. There are so many people here, no one will ever pay attention to me. I just need to find those Qincheng villains. Then I will be able to find out where my mom and dad are. So he sat down at a small table in a dark corner. Soon servants brought tea, snacks, and hot towels for him. He looked around and saw the nuns of Hengshan Sword School sitting at a table to the left. The apprentices of Huashan Sword School were sitting around another table nearby. The girl Lingshan was sitting there also. It seemed that Ding Yi had decided to let her go. But Ding Yi and Hu Sanqu were not among them. But Ding Yi and Hu Sanqu were not among them. Lin Pingzhi surveyed one table after another and felt a sudden shock when he saw Fang Rengji, Yu Renghao, and a bunch of others sitting around two tables. Obviously, they were all apprentices of the Qincheng sword school. His parents weren't among them. He wondered where they could be kept, feeling both sad and angry, and also fearful that his parents were already dead. He felt a strong urge to move to a table closer to them so he could overhear some of their conversation. But considering it had been so difficult for him to get this far, if he acted recklessly and attracted the attention of Fang Rengji and his fellows, he would be not only wasting all his efforts so far, but also getting himself into a fatal situation. A disturbance suddenly came from near the gate. Several men in blue robes came in hurriedly, carrying two door planks. Two men lay on the door planks. They were covered with white sheets that were soaked in blood. People in the hall soon gathered around them to have a closer look. Two dead bodies. They're from the Taishan Sword School, somebody muttered. That priest Tianxiong of the Taishan Sword School. Wow, that wound on him looks fatal. Who's the other one? He's an apprentice of priest Tianmen, the headmaster of the Taishan Sword School. His name is Chu. Is he dead already? Sure, dead. Look at that knife wound in from his chest and out his back. How could he survive that? Amid an uproar, the dead one and the wounded one were carried into the back hall. Many people followed them there. The ones remained in the great hall all began to talk about the incident. Priest Tianxiong is an excellent fighter from the Taishan Sword School. Who would be so bold as to challenge him? If this person would wound Priest Tianxiong, he obviously has better kung fu skills. Better skills, more courage, that's why. While the crowd was still discussing the incident, Xiang Danyang emerged from the back hall and went straight to the table where all the apprentices from the Huashang Sword School were gathered. Apprentice Brother Lao, my master would like to have a word with you. Will you please come with me? He asked Lao Denoi. Anna says we need a sound effect for dead bodies and when people get killed. What would that be? Would it be like or like dun dun dun? You know that voice, that sound effect? Nikki says the sound of a body hitting the floor. Yeah, like or or the sound of them lying dead. What does that sound? It's just silence. I should just stay silent when there's a dead body. Sure, Lao Denoi answered. He stood up and followed Xian Danyang into the inner room. They went through a long hallway and then to a side hall. There were 5 armchairs placed sitting side by side at the north end of the hall. 4 of them were empty, while a big red-faced Taoist priest occupied the easternmost chair. Lao Denoi knew that these 5 armchairs were reserved for the 5 headmasters of the 5 Mountains Sword Alliance. The headmasters of Songshan, Hengshan, Huashang, and Hengshan hadn't arrived yet. So Hengshan and Hengshan. Yeah, they sound the same. Unfortunately, this red-faced Taoist priest was none other than the headmaster of the Taishan Sword School, Priest Tianmen. So Taishan School is a school of Taoist priests. 19 senior masters sat to the side. Sister Ding Yi from the Hengshan Sword School, Yu Kanghai from the Qincheng Sword School, and Hu Sanqi from Mount Yandang were all among them. At the south end of the hall, upon the seat for the host, sat a short, fat, middle-aged man in expensive dark red-brown robes of silk. He was the host, Liu Jiangfang. So remember, Liu Jiangfang is the guy who is going to leave the martial arts world. And this is his house, or his residence. Lao Dunhua first saluted the host, Liu Jiangfang, and then knelt down in front of the priest Tan Mian with a greeting. Apprentice of Huashan Sword School, Lao Dunhua pays his respect to Uncle Master Tianmen. Oh, rolling bells for the dead body? Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Priest Tianmen appeared to be full of rage and seemed to be on the verge of exploding. Where is Ling Hu Chong? He bellowed, striking the arm of the chair heavily with his left hand. His voice was so astounding that it sounded like thunder from the sky. Even the people in the great hall could hear him and all shuddered. Third apprentice brother, they are looking for big apprentice brother again, the young girl Ling Shan cried. The young Fa nodded but did not say a word. After a while, he whispered, Let's all stay calm. There are so many people gathered here from different places. Don't let them look upon our Huashan sword school with scorn. Lin Pingzhi couldn't help thinking, They are looking for Ling Hu Chong again? This old fellow, Ling Hu, certainly has a knack for trouble. Back at the side hall, Lao Denua's ears were almost deafened by the resounding bellow from Priest Tianmen. He had to remain kneeling for quite a while before he could get a grip of himself and stand up again. Uncle Master, apprentice brother Ling Hu departed from us in the town of Hangyang, he answered. We had planned to meet in Hangshang and then come to the Liu house to congratulate Uncle Master Liu. If he doesn't make it today, he will surely come tomorrow. He still dares to come? He still has the gall to come? Ling Hu Chong is the big apprentice brother of your Huashan sword school. Isn't he supposed to be on the chivalry side of the martial world? What is he doing hanging around with that wicked rapist who stops at no evil, Zhang Bo Guang? What does he think he is doing? Priest Taiman roared angrily. From what I know, Big Apprentice Brother does not know Tian Bo Guang at all. Big Apprentice Brother is always fond of drinking. Maybe he didn't know it was Tian Bo Guang that he was drinking with. Lao Zhenhua tried to speculate. Stamping his foot on the floor heavily, Priest Tianmen stood up. You are foolish to defend that damn swine, Ling Hu Chong, he snarled, his voice filled with rage. Apprentice brother Tianzong, you tell him how you were wounded. Tell him whether Ling Hu Chong knew Tian Bo Guang. The two door planks were laid upon the floor to the west. A dead body lay on one, and a long-bearded Taoist priest lay on the other. The priest's face appeared to be almost as white as a sheet, and blood soaked his entire beard. In a very low voice, he started talking. This morning, I was with nephew apprentice Qi at the Huiyan wine house in Hangyang. We saw Ling Hu Chong together with Tian Bo Guang and a little nun. He had to stop to catch his breath before finishing the words. Brother Tianzong, you don't have to repeat the story. I will tell him what you said earlier, Liu Jiangfang volunteered. Remember, Liu Jiangfang is the guy who's going to leave the martial arts world. He turned his head to Lao Denhua. He said, Nephew apprentice Lao, nephew apprentice Ling Hu, and you, fellow apprentices, came a long way to my ceremony. I really appreciate the goodwill of apprentice brother Yue and all of you nephew apprentices, but we don't know how nephew apprentice Ling Hu met Tian Bo Guang, and so we must find out the truth. Since our Five Mountains Sword Alliance is like a big family, if nephew apprentice Ling Hu has truly done something wrong, it is up to us to give him some advice. Some advice. What advice? Purge the school by chopping off his head, Priest Tianmen shouted angrily. Oh, that guy is really mad. Apprentice brother Yue is always strict with respect to school rules, and the Huashan Sword School has always had a first-class reputation. This time, nephew Ling Hu really went a bit too far. Liu Jiangfeng said with a sigh. You still call him a nephew? Nephew my ass. Priest Tanman swore angrily. After the words were already out, he realized that as a headmaster of a big sword school, it was really not appropriate for him to use such foul language in front of Sister Ding Yi. But it was already too late to take it back. So he let out a loud breath and sat back down angrily. Uncle Master Liu, would you be kind enough to tell me what happened? Lao Denua requested. Liu Jiangfeng said, Just now, priest brother Tiansong told us. This morning he went to the Huiyan wine house in Hangyang with Qi Baicheng, the apprentice of priest brother Tianmen, to have a couple of drinks. When they went up to the wine house at the second floor, they saw 3 people drinking and eating there. The wicked rapist Tian Boguang, nephew apprentice Ling Hu, and the little apprentice of Sister Ding Yi, Yi Lin. Priest brother Tian Song felt it very strange when he saw them. He didn't know any of these 3, but from their clothing he could tell that one was an apprentice of the Huashan Sword School, and one was an apprentice of the Hangshang Sword School. Please hold your anger, Sister Ding Yi. Nephew apprentice Yi Lin was coerced. It was obvious that she was not there of her own free will. Priest brother Tian Song said that Tian Boguang was a man of about 30 years of age dressed in nice clothes. He didn't know who the man was, but later he heard nephew apprentice Ling Hu saying, Brother Tian, although you have Qinggong skills unsurpassed in the martial world, if you have really bad luck, no matter how good your Qinggong skills are, you won't be able to escape. So Qinggong is like it's like lightness techniques where you can run really fast or fly really high. My phone is running out of battery. Let me plug it in really quick. Since his surname was Tian, he had the best Qinggong skills in the martial world. There was no doubt he must have been 10,000 miles loner Tian Boguang. Priest brother Tian Song is one who hates evil as if it were a personal enemy. When he saw the 3 drinking and eating together, of course he was enraged. Yes, Lao Denua answered, thinking. 3 people drank together in the Huayan wine house. One was the infamous rapist, one was a little nun, and the other was the big senior apprentice of our Huashan Sword School. It was indeed quite an odd scene. Liu Jiangfeng continued. He then heard Tian Boguang saying, I, Tian Boguang, come and go as I please, traveling around the world alone. What's there to worry about? Since we have already seen this little nun, why not just let her stay here and accompany us? At Liu Jiangfeng's words, Lao Denua cast a suspicious glance at him, and then also sneaked an as suspicious peek from the corner of his eyes at priest Tian Song. Liu Jiangfeng understood instantly. Priest brother Tian Song is wounded very badly, he said. Of course, he was unable to tell everything so clearly and continuously. I added some of my own words, but the main idea is just the same. Priest brother Tian Song, is that right? Yes, correct. Tian Song managed to answer. With that confirmation, Liu Jiangfeng went on. Nephew apprentice Qi Baicheng couldn't stand it anymore. So he struck the table with his hand and shouted, Are you the evil rapist, Tian Boguang? Everyone in the martial world wants to kill you to rid the world of a scourge like you. Yet here you are bragging about yourself shamelessly. You must be tired of living. He drew his weapon and jumped forth to fight. Unfortunately, he was slain by Tian Boguang. It was really a pity that an outstanding young man lost his life to such an evil rapist. Priest brother Tian Song then jumped forth to fight with Tian Boguang. They both fought for several hundred rounds. Priest brother Tian Song wasn't cautious enough and was wounded in the chest thanks to Tian Boguang's dirty tricks. Afterwards, nephew apprentice Ling Hu still sat with the evil rapist, and the 2 drank together. That is really contrary. to the creed of our 5 mountains sword alliance. That's why priest brother Tianmen is so angry. Okay, so this guy Tian Boguang killed one of the apprentices of wait, what school are they in? Well, killed one of the apprentices of the Hangshang Sword School. No, wait, I'm confused. No, so Tian Boguang killed one of the apprentices of the Taishang Sword School, the Taoists, and injured the other one. But then Ling Hu Chong just stood there, or just sat there drinking with Yi Lin. What happened to our ideals of unity? Priest Tianmen snarled. We martial people should be able to tell right from wrong. Associating with such an evil rapist. Such an evil rapist. His face turned scarlet with anger, and it almost seemed that his beard bristled. Suddenly, someone called from outside the door. Master, I have something to report. Priest Tianmen recognized it as the voice of one of his apprentices. Come in, he said. What's the matter? A young man about 30 years of age walked in. He first saluted to the host, Liu Chengfeng, and all the other senior masters. Then he turned to Priest Tianmen and reported, Master, Uncle Master Tianbai sent us the message that he has led the search for Tian Boguang and Ling Hu Chong, the 2 evil rapists, with apprentices of our school, but hasn't found any trace of them. Hearing Big Apprentice Brother being mentioned as the evil rapist group, Lao Denois felt quite embarrassed. But it seemed Big Apprentice Brother was really consorting with Tian Boguang, so what could he say? But outside the town of Hangyang, we found a corpse with a sword in his abdomen. The sword belonged to the evil rapist Ling Hu Chong, the Taishang Sword School apprentice continued. And now they're saying Ling Hu Chong is the rapist, which doesn't make any sense. Who was the deceased? Priest Tianmen asked hurriedly. The young man gave a quick glance at Yu Kanghai before answering. He was an apprentice brother of Uncle Master Yu. At the time when we found the body, nobody knew who he was. After we took the body back to town, someone recognized him to be apprentice brother Luo Ranjie. Yu Kanghai, he's the master of the Qincheng Sword School. Yu Kanghai uttered a cry of shock and stood up instantly. It was Ranjie? Where's the body? Here it is, someone answered from outside. Yu Kanghai was a man with good self-control, although the bad news hit him hard so unexpectedly, and the deceased was one of the 4 best apprentices of Qincheng, Yingqiang Haojie. He maintained his composure. Nephew apprentice, please carry the body in, he said. Yes, the apprentice outside of the door responded. 2 men carried in a door plank. One of the 2 was an apprentice of the Hangshang Sword School, and the other was an apprentice of the Qincheng Sword School. On the plank was a body with a sword thrust into the abdomen and going up at an angle. The sword was about 3 feet long, but the part protruding from the body was less than 1 foot long. Apparently, the tip of the sword went all the way up into the corpse's throat. It was very rare to see this type of ruthless move that went from the bottom up in the martial world. Ling Hu Chong. Ling Hu Chong, wow, how vicious you are, Yu Kanghai murmured. Uncle Master sent the message that he is still searching for the 2 evil rapists. It would be better if 1 or 2 of the Uncle Masters here could go and give him a helping hand, the Taishang apprentice continued. I'll go, Ding Yi and Yu Kanghai said almost in unison. Right at that moment, a sweet and lovely voice came from outside the door. Master, I am back. Ding Yi's expression changed immediately. Is that Yi Lin? Get in here right now, she shouted. Everybody looked at the doorway, wanting to take a good look at this little nun who was bold enough to drink in public with 2 evil rapists. The door curtain was lifted, and everyone felt as if the whole room had suddenly been brightened when the little nun walked quietly into the hall. She was possessed of grace and beauty. No one would have argued that she was a perfect creation of heaven. She was only about 16 years of age, and although wrapped in a big and loose nun's robes, the curves of her body were apparent from her graceful movements. She walked till she stood in front of Ding Yu, then knelt down and called out, "Master!" After saying this, she suddenly burst into tears. Ding Yu straightened her face. What has happened? How were you able to get away? She asked anxiously. Master, I thought I would never see you again, Yilin said in tears. Her voice was sweet and charming, and the two little hands clutching Ding Yu's sleeves were so white that they almost looked like they were carved of jade. How could such a beauty become a nun? Many in the room couldn't help thinking to themselves. Yu Kanghai gave her only a quick glance, and then went back to staring at the sword in Luo Ranjie's broad body. There were 3 green tassels attached to the handle of the sword. On the blade near the handle, the words Huashan Linghu Chong were etched on the blade. He looked around and saw Lao Denoi carrying by his waist the same kind of sword with green tassels attached to the handle. All of a sudden, he jumped toward Lao Denoi and thrust his fingers toward Lao Denoi's eyes. The attack was as swift as it was fierce, and in an instant the tips of his fingers had touched Lao Denoi's eyelid. Lao Denois was startled and hurriedly raised his arms to block the attack, using a move called Raise Fire to Burn Sky. With a sneer, Yu Kanghai rounded his left hand in a very small circle and grabbed Lao Denois' hands in his left palm. Extending his right arm, he quickly unsheathed the sword by Lao Denois' waist. Lao Denois pulled hard in an effort to free his hands, which were being held by Yu Kanghai, but failed miserably, and only a split of a second later, he found the tip of his own sword pointing right at his chest. I am not involved, he shouted out frantically. Yu Kanghai looked at the blade of the sword. There were the words saying Huashan Lao de Noir. The size and the style of the words matched the other sword exactly. Lowering his wrist, he pointed the sword toward Lao Denois' stomach and spoke grimly. Which move is this one in your respectful Huashan sword art that thrusts up from the bottom up at an angle? Lao Denois could feel cold sweat dripping from his forehead. Our Huashan sword art does not have such a move, he muttered in a quavering voice. Yu Kanghai thought the move that killed Ranjie was thrusting up at the lower abdomen, and the tip of the sword went all the way up to the throat. Did Ling Hu Chong bend over and thrust upward from his backside? But after this killing, why didn't he take his sword, but intentionally left this evidence? Is he challenging the Qincheng sword school? But suddenly, his thoughts were interrupted by Yi Lin's voice. Yes, finished. Another chapter over. Whew. Nikki says, sword sound effects for a hand attack. Yeah. That's all I have, guys. I'll find the hand effects. Hand sounds for the next time. Dun, dun, dun. Fuzzy Static, bye. Thanks for coming. All right, I guess we're done. We're done. So yeah. Now this is weird because why would someone kill another person but leave his sword in the body, right? It looks very suspicious, almost like someone is trying to place the blame on Ling Hu Chong. Bigfoot said, thought of having a pitcher of water on hand while you read. I have this. I have to refill it though. Yeah, I should. It's that shot, man. Like without that shot, I would have been fine. Do hand and kick effects. I can do it myself. Alright, guys. My mouth is super dry. Alright, Hannah. Bye. Hannah says, now I can get my kids ready for bed. I always get them to bed late so I can enjoy these videos. What if I keep going on and then they never get to sleep? They would probably like that. All right, bye, Hannah. Bigfoot says, you did a great job. Thanks, Bigfoot. All right. Until next time, I love you guys. Bye. Donald, yes, the stream is ending.